So I'm here today with Dr. Daniel Fabricant, and Dr. Fabricant is the CEO and president of the NPA, the Natural Products Association. There he is in front of the banner.
Yeah.
And we decided to get together and make this recording because we want to ask you to take some action on behalf of access to dietary supplements and on behalf of the industry. And Dr. Fabricant also was for a period of time with the FDA because he was the director of the Division of Dietary Supplement Programs at the FDA, which had to do with regulation of our industry. And so he is probably the most knowledgeable person that we could think of to talk about this clear and present danger to access to dietary supplements that is the Durbin-Braun proposal. And we're going to ask you to reach out to your legislators. That's why we're here. So Dr. Fabricant, thank you so much for your time today.
Jolie, thank you. It's really important to get the word out right now. Unfortunately, this is kind of it's a rough moment because what they're asking is really tantamount to pre-market approval and really gives them a way to remove things administratively. We want the FDA, we want a strong FDA, we want them out there inspecting, we want them out there testing. We don't want them out there, though, doing things unscientifically, rendering an opinion on things like they did on NAC, and then just going, oh, hey, we're just going to remove that from the industry without ever having to debate the science or, if there is an issue, of course, the industry, wants to deal with the responsible party industry wants to deal with those things. But that's not what we have here. And like you said, it's incumbent on all of us in the industry, whether you work for a manufacturer, a retailer, or just somebody who uses supplements routinely. Take 30 seconds and you can go to our website. It has an algorithm. You click on take action. It goes through, all the firewalls. It goes right to your members of Congress, both senators, your member in the House of Representatives, and says, hey, why are we talking about supplement reforms right now when, there's a lot bigger problems? So we really want to get the word out. We want folks to, we don't want folks' access to be impeded in any way, shape, or form. We want them to continue to have choices in the marketplace. And realistically, what's the problem this legislation is trying to address? There isn't one. I can say this, having been at FDA, this is, if not the safest commodity FDA regulates, it's one of the safest. So really, what's the actual issue this legislation is trying to get at? It's nothing more than, unfortunately, a real smear campaign against the industry.
Exactly. And it brings up, when you say that about among the safest things that FDA regulates, it brings up that conversation, which is that old saw that this industry is an unregulated industry, and that is just absolutely false. So
yeah.
It every time I read that in a newspaper article or a magazine article or wherever it is that comes up, I think to myself, okay, here comes pharma. That's what this is about, because we are not an unregulated industry, and you of all people really understand that. So specifically, exactly what do people need to do in order to reach out on this issue?
Great. It's very simple. We have, like I said, there's a link. They can literally go to our website, npanational.org. Click the Take Action link. It takes you to a page called Voter Voice. And then on Voter Voice, they enter their name, their email, and their zip code. And it'll go right to their, like I said, both senators, their House of Representatives. It's got a message there that you can edit it if you want. The message on this particular item says, hey, no, we want no on, this bill is a no-go and really shouldn't be part of the discussions. It's interesting. This bill got attached to the RX user fees. Now, our industry has never been on the RX user fees before. You go, wait a second, why is the dietary supplement industry on the Prescription Drug User Fee Act? Shouldn't be there, but it's a heavy vehicle that Congress has to move. And so unfortunately, we got thrown onto it. So it's got a lot of momentum, but we can, if everyone writes and calls, we can get it off of there. So yeah, right now we've got our emails going up there. We've got almost 30,000 that have happened over the past week. And so people really need to add to that. We know other groups are out there doing that as well. We also have a feature on our website that has the phone number. So I will share that link with you as well. We can get that out there, but it's right on npanational.org. You click Take Action and it goes right to the Voter Voice site. So Keep the cards and letters coming. Even if people have written before, they can write again. So please do that. We change the message, we update the message, refresh it, and you'll hear back from your Congress people. And it's really democracy in action.
It is, and it's so important to participate. It's one thing to be worried about something when it comes to legislative overreach. It's another thing to be worried about it and do nothing. This is our opportunity to show up as citizens, as concerned citizens, and as people who are concerned about having access to non-toxic, very safe, and very effective materials that support our health. So it takes me back to the Dietary Supplement Health and Education Act era, when I was Citizens for Health director for the state of Florida, and it was grassroots, and the amazing swell of information that went to the legislators that really pushed that through. And I don't know about you, but I feel like this is a time where even that might be in danger. Is there any threat to DSHEA at this point?
Yeah, I mean, this bill is directly a threat to DSHEA because it's really going to require that manufacturers, it really gives FDA a way to have pre-market approval, like with NAC. FDA is going to develop this master listing, right? And such a listing is really going to be used by retailers, e-tailers to set their shelves, right? So if you're not on the list, there's certainly huge economic consequences. But furthermore, it allows FDA to go, something like NAC, we don't agree with, it wasn't the safety. It was, well, we don't really, there was this drug approval out there back in the 60s, and we think that restricts NAC from being sold as a supplement. And so therefore, if we have this listing, NAC wouldn't be on this listing. So it's like, whoa, wait a second. So if you're not on that list, then you've got to worry about, where people are going to sell you. I mean, all the people, if we had it happen with, Amazon delisted NAC when the warning letters went out. So it's really giving FDA, it's codifying that behavior. And that's really scary because, again, if you have a new supplement, right, you have to get FDA to give you a thumbs up and put you on that list before you go to market, or you're misbranded, you're breaking the law. And you go, wait a second. So it's criminal if I put a new flavor in something and FDA doesn't give me the thumbs up. Now that's a criminal act. It's insane. Like you said, we want people to have access. Over 70% of the country safely uses a supplement every day. It's a kitchen table product. We all grew up with multivitamins on our table to stay healthy. And realistically, the attack, like you said, where's the attack coming from? It's coming from people like Pew Charitable Trust, from the AMA. And, there are some industry groups that want to work with them. And I think that while that intention is good, I think the reality is those groups, to your point, they have a different interest, and their interest is not our industry. They've tried to eliminate our industry back from, like you said, when you were, working the state chair on Citizens for Health. They've always been after our industry. They're not going to stop now.
Yes.
Really got our voice heard.
No, they want drugs to be the only approach for people who are experiencing challenges to their health or have health concerns. And we know that is not the way. That is not the safest way to approach building a healthy future for yourself or for your family. So this is so important. Dr. Fabricant, thank you so much for giving me a few moments. And for everyone that's watching this, please go to that link and reach out to your congressmen, your senators, and you can do it, as Dr. Fabricant said, multiple times. The NPA is changing up the messaging, and you want your voice to be heard on this issue. So I'm sorry for asking you to repeat yourself, but one more time, where do they go?
www.npanational.org and click the button that says take action. It's right there as soon as you get to the website. So Jolie, thank you so much for getting the word out. It's really important right now more than ever that we have our voices heard. So thank you for that.
Absolutely. I agree completely. Thank you, Dr. Fabricant. And I'm going to sign off. Thank you so much for your